I'm here with Sara Katz.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you again. And I'd love to talk about more about what you do and our work together. So, yeah, how are you doing, first of all?
I'm good. I'm in New Orleans, and it's in the morning right now. I'll be here for a couple more weeks, so it's a nice morning here.
Yeah, and I love about our work that we can do it from anywhere with the world and we get to connect with amazing people from all over the world. So I'm so happy that I connected with you, and we just talked about dragons and energies and 5-dimensional living, which is pretty cool. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But first, I wanted to ask you, when we met, where were you at with your business and what was your situation?
Okay, so when we met, it was March. I was in Colorado, and things were happening. Like, you know how strange things start falling into place and being shown. So that was happening, but my business, I hadn't done any work on my business really. Like, I had clients here and there, but I was just like, hadn't really done much with it. And then and I didn't want to do like tech stuff or set stuff up. I'm like not interested in that at all. And I get frustrated when I do it. So I just didn't want to deal with that. I just wanted to start expanding. I just done one Facebook ad with something from my Facebook page and started getting some more likes. I think I had 30 at the time, like just from friends, and then started doing that. But I wasn't doing much as for work in March at all. And that's where I started when I saw you. Like, I was just starting to really get like some fifth dimension energy going and being shown clearly what I was supposed to do. And I was a coach before, but a lot of stuff was going on. So I was a little in overwhelm, and I didn't know where I was going at the point as very clearly.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what your work, what your business is about? What you do?
I'm a coach. I've been a coach for a long time, and I was good, and I knew I had intuition in the sense of I could usually read where people were blocked. I can feel it in your bodies. I'm an empath, like stuff like that. So I coach people, and I can see the next steps they need to take, and I remove blocks pretty quickly. So that's what I do, and also see the big picture. Like, I'm big picture, and make plans with people about how to deal with their own rebellious nature that everybody has, whether you're like nice about it or not so nice about it. So how to engage all parts of yourself is what I do, so everything moves smoothly.
Okay, cool. And what made you work with me in the end? Like,
Because I mean, well, you offered a lot of tech support and like practical application, and you also were a healer. So you knew what I was doing. Like, you know, it was someone like me who could do more and infuse my work with extra healing and create a good space for that. So it was important that you also did what I did, and you were similar to what I was doing. So that was helpful, rather than having somebody who did not know anything about my work or what kind of work I was interested in doing.
That's fine. Yeah, I think I really feel passionate about that because I've worked with a business coach who just went to business school and didn't know anything about my work. And then I think it was really hard to have that communication because it was like, I can't explain what I do. And that's why I feel passionate about, supporting healers and coaches because I get what you're going through. Like I get everything basically. And you can talk to me about any of the weird stuff, and I will be completely understanding and work very intuitively as well, but then offer this techie stuff that I actually enjoy doing either way. And then I know that it's always like the major block in, like, especially with spiritual entrepreneurs and creatives, it's always a challenge. So yeah, I'm glad that helped. So what was the biggest thing that you feel shifted in this?
Well, feeling supported, and also, you guys, Maya does a really thorough questionnaire in the beginning. So you start getting more clear on what you want your business to go. Now, what I would say to people who say, I already know, is that it gets even more detailed, so that you are like, well, I already know where my business is going. It's like, well, then get even more clear. Like, take it to another level is what I would always suggest. So if you're working with Maya, you're going to take it to the next level and get really clear on what you want. Not that it's not, it can change too. But I have to say, like, the biggest thing for me was with my income started going. That was in March. In April, my income probably tripled, if not quadrupled.
Wow. Okay.
April was big. April was a huge month, you know, so March, and then I got a bunch of clients and hooked up with people. May was also a really big month. And June is also, like, I walked into New Orleans, I have more clients, but also I have clients online. But it is like my clarity, like, I'm just clear on what I'm doing, what I have to offer. I felt like I had backup. And then you can do, what I found with you is that you had sessions, either you can do a healing session one time, do some tech work on one time, you can do some focus work if you're frustrated with Maya. Like, that's what I felt like. You had a few different options to assist whatever was going on for each session. So even though we had plans for a session, that could change on what we were doing based on what I needed, or you could split up a session to support, you know, any sort of emotional stuff going on, and then get practical application for that.
Yeah, I think it's important to have that emotional support, because I've also gone through that, because again, like working with a business coach, and that was like, I would have crisis, you know, when you're like up leveling and you're just like, can I do it?
Yeah.
And then you just need someone to know how to work through that, you know? And so I was like, I really like the combination. So
yeah, so that was available. Like, you have a few things to offer so you can do like a card session, a healing session. You know, if you need to refocus on stuff, if you want to be like, I'm not clear on some stuff, it's like, okay, we'll get clear, and then we'll do some work on that. And then, so you feel like you're doing action steps with the plan. And there's a business plan also for anyone who hasn't worked with you. There's a business plan Maya does, like, so you have something to start with. And then you can expand or change it or refocus it, but it's good to have that first plan. I do that with people in a different way. So they have to write down, they're like, this is what we're doing, boom, boom, boom. And they're like, am I going to do all that? I go, that's what I see very clearly. So it's a stretch, like, and that's where you're going to go, which is great, because you're like, this is what we're going to do. And you're like, you know, but we do it and we move on. And now I have, like, you know, the Facebook, linked with Instagram and linked with a website. And the website's still under development, but it's pretty good. But everything's linked together. And also I started a YouTube channel. So I'm like really, really a lot more visible and a lot more, everything sped up. So even though I was already getting a lot of intuitive hits, they just happened faster, I feel like, when I had extra support.
Yeah, definitely. And I love about the YouTube that you started. I will definitely link it below. It's really cool. Sara does really great readings for new moon, full moon, monthly readings. I mean, it's really great, and so on point. And I also love that it's super short, that you can just, it's really on point. You just get your guidance in just a few minutes and you're all good to go, you know?
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the goals, to be more visible, right? And
one of the goals was to be more visible, but it literally, because I'm connected to, I mean, Archangel Michael is my main channel, but you know, it's just the main one. It's literally like I hear them in my head. So it's kind of like, they're like, oh, by the way, you're doing, you got to start doing your YouTube readings. And I wasn't planning on it or not planning on it, but they're like, you're going to do YouTube readings. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll start next month. They're like, no, like now. And I was like, okay. Yeah, and literally that was May 1st. So they were like, get on it. Now Maya didn't tell me to get on it, but because I was already in the system, they're like, and I didn't think about it. So it wasn't something I was avoiding either. So I just did it. You know, they were exactly what needed to be said. They were about like 6 minutes long, you know, 6.5 for the monthlies and like 3 minutes for the new moon or full moon. And it is short, but it's packed full of information.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and they're very clear. They're not like, So I literally get out of the way and do those readings. So there's a lot more trust I have. And like Maya took care of a lot of stuff while I was literally up leveling. So she was just more grounding about stuff because I kind of go out and like connect and do my thing. And I'm just like, okay, I just need it out. Just get it out. I don't know. Get it out. She's a more grounding force for someone like me who wants to just go out and be present. Because my job is to show up. I mean, that is my job. So I'll show up on Instagram. I'll show up on YouTube. I'll show up on Facebook, but I'll show up in random weird places for people. And it's exactly right. And so getting some extra support and having someone work through some details for you that you might not see. And also literally like create a plan for you that you might not, you probably wouldn't have created yourself. You'll create a plan and it'll have some holes in it. But there's blind spots we have, right? So it's helpful for you to go in and look, and then Maya like gets her own intuitive hit about what else could be used.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I think that's the whole point. So you are in your genius zone and you do your thing and you don't have to worry about other stuff, and then also my job is to also keep you on track. And so we are moving in steady direction to progress, Yeah.
So measurable progress is what I do as well. Like where you're seeing, you look at all the action you've taken. But I have to say, like, there's just been since from March until now, I mean, it's a different ball game, Maya, don't you think, for my work and for my visibility and
Totally. I believe, I agree. That's actually my next question. So where is your business right now and what are you planning for the future? What's going on?
I've started doing workshops in January, but I'm doing more workshops because they keep telling me to partner with other people, but I feel like I'll start doing retreats. So I'm starting, and I keep hearing Bali. So I'm actually working with a woman in Denver who's also an angel person, but she's hardcore nutrition. So she merges those, and I'll be doing fifth dimensional groundings and connecting with your guides. Like that's my specialty, is teaching people how to channel and connect in that level. And she's going to be doing like feeding your energetic body literally with food. So we're going to be doing some of that, and then I'll hire somebody to do like yoga, but we're going to be doing some intense light purification and vibrational rays, but you're going to feel it physically, and your body moves from your energetic body, which is putting everything in alignment. It's really wacky, but it's very cool because you feel it on a 3-dimensional level. I'm just expanding my work. I don't work part-time at another job. I used to teach, and I was teaching just an hour or two in the mornings, 5 or 6 days a week, not long, but now I don't do that at all. It was easy, but I couldn't stand it because it wasn't what I was supposed to do anymore. So that was a couple months ago. That was gone.
Yay.
Right. So that's like, I just do my work now, and and I'm feeling like I'm living my life on purpose. Whereas before I knew I was supposed to, I've done it kind of half-assed. I've had clients, but I wasn't all in. And now I'm totally all in. So things were happening before I met Maya, and then we just made a big jump. So then I hired Maya to keep grounded certain things and keep me accountable to certain things, and just like, so I could just make all these changes. And you don't even realize you're making the changes. I mean, you do, but it's just like, you look back and that's where you see, oh my God, there's so much that happened.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I'll definitely post more info about Sara's work below because you do also Instagram card of the day, which I personally love as well. I love all your readings. I'm just like, I'm your stalker, I'm officially a stalker.
Yes, it's and the readings are so fast, you guys. That's why the Instagram reading is obviously like 50 seconds. And then the other stuff is not too long. That's why I really like it. And I've done it. I've been on it for 2.5 months, and I've had almost 6,000 views. Like, so that, like, I just started it. It's not, so I was happy that it's getting out there, because my job again is to show up and be available and let people like get information, because that's my job, and it's really great to do that. Like that's what I do full time. Yeah.
Amazing.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome. So yeah, that's it. If anyone wants to join this journey, you know where I'm at. I'll post all the info below as well, and I'll post Sarah's info. And thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you so much.
yes.